Here's Ted. He works for a pharmaceutical company which develops new treatments for patients whose needs are unmet by current medicines. Ted and his experienced drug development team are responsible for the design and running of clinical trials to evaluate the safety and efficacy of new medicines. They have to take difficult and important decisions about the safety of patients and the efficacy of experimental treatments. Unfortunately, the environment in which they work gets more complicated and demanding every day. They are confronted by big challenges. They have to deal with competitive environment, length of development, and budgets. Ted has to reconcile these and other constraints with his key goal of determining the safety and efficacy of new medicine. To add to all Ted's challenges, the frequent placebo effect further diminishes his chances of success. Over many years, Ted and his colleagues have tried to minimize placebo effect that has a negative impact on drug development. Ted has used many different study designs. Unfortunately, he has never found a solution that reconciles all his needs and constraints. In particular, because the individual placebo response differs from patient to patient. Recently, a colleague recommended that Ted uses a solution called Placebell that provides individual patient placebo score. This proved to be very simple. At patient enrollment in a clinical trial, after the screening visit, patients were invited to fill out a questionnaire on paper or directly on a computer or tablet. The answers were computed and individual placebo responses calculated. When Ted needed stratification, his Placebell solution was linked to his interactive web response system to homogeneously balance patients among treatment groups according to their individual scores. At the end of the trial, furthermore, Ted received a database lock, a detailed report with all patients' individual placebo scores that he provided to his statistician group to allow them to adjust for the individual placebo covariate, as well as all the baseline characteristics, such as, for example, age and gender. By being able to predict the individual placebo response, the variance would be reduced in both the placebo and the treatment groups. Ted is now happy that he has access to an exciting new tool that will increase the study power of his clinical trials, decreases the size and duration of his clinical development program, and improves his understanding of the safety and efficacy of his drugs. Ted can now also more rapidly provide stronger data on which to base his company's go or no-go decisions, and to avoid additional expenses by not repeating clinical trials, and preventing patients from unnecessary exposure to study drug.